It's Pete and Kimber with Ben Cousins.
Alana, filling in for Kimber today.
Good morning, Pete.
I ain't 26. I'm nervous about playing this.
I can
frankly.
see it within you because it's very heavy what you're about to,
And it's very close
let
to
us
our
listen
heart.
into.
Yep. Around 8 weeks ago, our family was thrown into absolute chaos when I received a phone call from my brother telling me that his 2-year-old son had been diagnosed with cancer. Since then, they've been in the Perth Children's Hospital fighting it with Sonny, and I sat with them earlier this week in a room at PCH so they could tell Sonny's story. And we started by going back to the week that they found out about the diagnosis. Take a listen.
Never in a million years thought that I would be sitting here in Perth Children's Hospital looking at my brother and his wife and my nephew and thinking that we were ever going to have a conversation like this. Just want to start very simply. How are you guys going?
Just hanging in there, just getting through day by day. How do you deal with getting told that your child's got cancer? I suppose it's one of those things that nobody ever wants to hear.
It was Sonny and Ellie's birthday. We were all there having water fun and fights.
Yes.
And we were celebrating their second birthday. And then a few days later, you guys were heading into Perth Children's Hospital to get Sonny checked out.
Lauren changed Sonny's nappy and there was actually it looked like a couple little blood clots in there. So, she showed me and I said, Colin, let's get him in the car, get him straight to emergency. So pretty much from there they asked, can we get him to do a urine sample? Couldn't get him to wee and then he started screaming. And then all of a sudden just about a tablespoon of blood come out of him. I ran out and I called the nurse and showed him, and then all of a sudden it was like everyone kicked into emergency mode and they threw a catheter into him, and as soon as they opened the catheter, the bag just filled up with blood. And then I'll never forget the doctor. She just looked at both of us and just said, I'm really sorry, guys, but we found a mass on his right side of his kidney. At that point, we just went numb. Yeah, I just fell to the floor.
When we got told, my whole body just went into shock. It was just, I couldn't control my body. I felt like I was just there but not there. I just started shaking, like I just could not control myself. And it took a really long time for that news to actually sink in and think, my boy's sick.
He had a stage 4 Wilms tumour on his kidney. To get told that it's stage 4 is like, how long's it been there? Surely it's been there for a long time. Like, how did we not pick it up? Was there symptoms? Was there signs? The mass on his kidney was 87 millimetres.
That's 8.7 centimetres. It's a third of a ruler sitting on his kidney.
We got told a couple of days later that being stage 4, it had actually spread to his lungs as well. He's going to need operations and treatment and we've got a mortgage to pay. We've got 3 other kids to think about. How am I going to maintain all of that while trying to be there to support my wife and my son and also support my other 3 kids as well? The amount of support that we have had from family and friends, strangers, it's a lot.
You're just anxiously waiting all the time of, Do you want to say hi?
There's so much trauma for him. He comes from a world of just having fun and just being a kid.
They go above and beyond at Perth Children's Hospital, don't they? The amount of times that you guys have remarked at just how incredible they are.
The nurses, the surgeons, the reception staff, the doctors, the way that they interact with the children and what they do for the kids, what they do for the parents, they're amazing. We're very lucky to have this in Western Australia.
But even just little things like knowing what he likes to eat or what he likes to drink or what he's into, they do that with all the kids so that they can get to know them on a personal level. Like asking him, Paw Patrol and how he's all into his diggers and excavators and all that sort of stuff, knows that he likes apple juice, just little things like that help him, I guess, in the harder times.
Even though you guys are going through what you're going through and Sonny's going through what he's going through, in a way you consider yourselves quite lucky. There are some families that are really suffering in this place.
Yeah, there's some families doing it tough, and that's why we say, thankfully we're getting back some positive results since we've had, Sonny's tumour removed. which is why we sit here and we go, you know what, we're actually one of the lucky cases at the moment, because we have met, you know, some families in here that aren't as lucky as what we have been. We have seen a couple of cases when Sonny was in ICU as well that, you know, families saying goodbye to their children.
It's tough.
So we're very lucky that he is still with us today, that we managed to catch his tumour when we did. Yeah, he's here today, but he's still got a bit of a road ahead of him.
Talking about it, if it helps another family not feel so alone, or I don't know, you're just trying to do the best that you can, and if it does help a family out there just to feel better about the situation, then, you know, we're glad that we've done it.
Pete. Oh, my God. The rawness. The bravery that you've shown, the emotion that you've shown.
Not me, mate. It's got nothing to do with me.
No, but it's still very brave to actually share the story, because you could keep that easily behind closed doors, and you come in here every day.
Oh, it's them. It's not me. Honest to God, it is a genuine privilege to be able to sit behind this microphone and be able to tell the hard stories that people are going through, not just in our family, but everyone that's listening to this. But you know, we've had so many chats with people over the years about the hardest parts of life, because that's really where the heart and soul of life is, you know, and never had it been more real that it can happen to anyone at any time than when we got that phone call to tell us what was happening to Sonny. And to hear them talk about the other kids that are in that hospital, and the fact that there's families in there that they'll never leave it. Yeah. And they will never leave with their kids the same way that they were before. You know, Perth Children's Hospital just does such an important thing. We're so incredibly thankful, you know, that we have them here. We're blessed to have them here and have the nurses and staff who do what they do. And I couldn't think of any other reason to do the HBF run for a reason than with them at the heart and soul of taking those steps that day.
Absolutely,
you know?
Absolutely.
And like you said, they're the lucky ones.
The mental load that, you know, these families, everyone is dealing with around this. Even listening to your brother talk about, it's not just dealing with this illness and what it is doing to your family, but the mental load of looking after the other kids, making sure that there's still food on the table, that the mortgage is getting paid. It is so widespread, and the pressure that you're all withstanding through this tumultuous journey, it's just
the
huge.
Impact is extraordinary. I've never seen my parents the way that I've seen them.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you very much for listening. I hope that's touched you in the way that we hoped that it would. And I hope you get behind PCH and the HBF run for a reason, because that's where you can make a difference.
Pete and Kimber with Ben Cousins, 6 to 9 weekdays.